Welcome back. And now we will talk about the Egyptian history. The Grand Egyptian Museum would be one of the biggest in the Middle East. It will contain more than 100,000 artifacts. To shed light about this issue, we have with us in the studio Bassam Al-Shamma, the lecturer in Egyptology. Hello, Mr. Bassam.
Hello.
Good morning, Doctor. Long
Good
time no
morning
see.
to you.
And
Great to be back.
Thanks for coming. And let's talk about the Grand Egyptian Museum. Tell us more about when are we expecting to witness the opening.
Well, what a fantastic project. It's an amazing enterprise. I would hope with the campaign that we're going to talk about today that we can get everybody to share, even if it was with a very, very small share, to put your own seed, to sow the seeds of loyalty towards this building. This building is going to be already the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square is the greatest collection of ancient Egyptian artifacts in the world. Number two, you will be amazed to know, number two is in Turin. The Museum of Turin is the second greatest collection
After the
in the
Egyptian
world.
Museum.
After the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir. Now, if we are talking about almost 117 faddans, this is not going to be only a museum. This is going to be lecturing halls. There will be activities. There will be intellectual activities. Already there is a building there for restoration. And talking of restoration, I've got great news for everybody who's watching us now. Sunday the 15th, the coming Sunday 15th, in the morning, there will be the opening of Room 44, and Room 44 will be showing the restored artifacts which were destroyed.
In the Grand Egyptian Museum?
No, in the Egyptian Museum,
In
Tahrir
Tahrir.
Square. And that is going to be showing the artifacts which were destroyed during the looting of the Egyptian Museum on the 28th of January 2011. The Egyptian restorers, 100% Egyptian hands restored the statues. And they restored 80% of it the first 10 days. After the destruction. So that's a good job. Now, there is a huge building now in the Grand, not far away from Rimaya Square in Giza, and it's working as a restoration center. So this Grand Museum is not going to be a museum only. It will be other things like the restoration business. Now, a few months ago, I was invited by you guys to be interviewed there, and we were looking at the work actually happening in front of us in the building of the GEM, or as they call it, the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum. They are going to spell it GEM. And it seems it's going to take a little bit of time to me. But the last or the latest declaration by the Minister of Antiquities, he's talking about 2015, 1-5. Now, that is another postponing because like long time ago, we always hear 2011, 2012, and so on. So until now, it's 2015. Now, here is the interesting part. How are we going to get the money to complete that project? We've been given $500 million. We've been given $350 million from the Japanese. Thank you very much. So yes, people are donating and people are giving and people are giving. I don't know what's the economical situation or status of if there is an interest or not, or a small interest or whatever. This I don't know much about in the economy business. But today I'm coming to introduce to the Minister of Antiquities this campaign. The campaign is called Build Your Grand Museum, £2.
So every Egyptian should contribute in building the Egyptian Museum, which could help also in the restoration and the reviving of the tourism industry, which has been greatly affected by the recent incidents in Egypt.
Excellent. Yes, I'm with you 150%. If this museum would be sold as an idea and as a building in a correct manner touristically, and of course archaeologically, you can have a big boost of tourism in 2015, providing that you can sell the idea around the world in a very nice 21st century way.
Yes. Yeah, Doctor, when I sit for an interview with you, I always have to ask about what is the current status of the Egyptian monuments. And you know, it's a bit scary that we're expecting the Grand Museum to open in 2015, you know, because if the security situation continues in Egypt, then possibly there'll be no monuments to put in the Grand Egyptian Museum by that time. The looting of the monuments, and not only in the recent events,
No, we
after
have
the revolution, but even the looting since forever in Egypt, and for other monuments, very important monuments in Egypt, who have been taken and are being portrayed elsewhere around the world. Last time I met you, before a year and a half, you said that there are initiatives in returning, some kind of agreements in returning some of those monuments? How far has that reached now?
Well, looting of the Egyptian museum started in the days of the ancient Egyptians themselves.
Yeah, they were looting themselves.
They were looting the monuments at that time. And we do have a very
And
famous...
the tombs and the pyramids.
Oh, yes, we have a very famous papyrus. It's called the looting papyrus. It's the thieves of the tombs papyrus. That's how we
Oh my
call it.
God.
Yeah. And it had... I'll bring some pictures sometime and we can discuss this because it's very
Yeah.
interesting to read the papyrus, which is actually the first question and answer papyrus ever. This is the first scene and game. This is the first scene and game by the police catching the thieves. And they told us the questions. They told us how they can act the theft. Ancient Egyptians invented the idea of the robber acting the theft like they do today. And so on and so forth. So yes, looting did take place in ancient Egypt and there was great punishments. Huge punishments to the point that
we
it
want
sometimes
to see
can be...
these severe punishments
Severe
nowadays.
Yes, I'm with you with that as well. Yes, if it's in my hand, as you know, I don't work in the government. If it's in my hand, I would increase the number of years in the prison. I would increase the punishment, and I would increase also the prize for those who are going to return the monuments.
You can never compete with the price to the original pricing of the monument that you want to sell.
Sometimes, like in Malawi case, 450 pieces were returned. Now,
And
how would they
the
return?
museum there was destroyed by looters in
We are
Malawi.
talking about 1,040 pieces looted.
Unfortunately.
This is the first time in my very, very modest life I hear and like see and watch a museum being looted. I know that you can loot one painting,
Certain
you can loot one
pieces
piece, but a huge museum minus 50 pieces or something, that's the first time. Also, this is the first time that we are in need, not only for this, you are talking about security, we are in need to see those people while they are robbing. This is what
Cameras.
we need the cameras. We need those high-tech cameras that can take shots
Cameras that are working.
in the dark.
Cameras that are actually
Those cameras are, the Egyptian Museum, for example, 2011, those cameras were there. We know that they were there, but they were not
dead.
equipped to take shots in the dark. That
How
is the
interesting is
greatest
that?
crisis of all. This
So
is like the
we
thief.
have to overcome these
Yes, so this is
weak
number
points.
one. But for you to say about something about the price, if you go back to this business of the Grand Museum, you would need a great security in the Grand Museum, and I'm sure they will take care of it. But the point is here, are you really planting inside us the love of this building, the love of this statue, the love of this papyrus? Are you really teaching in a correct manner these things are priceless? I was told by an important person in the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir that while the looting was taking place on the 28th of January 2011, somebody was telling the crowd, go get your right. These statues are your right. You take it.
What are you going to do with it? Decorate it in your living room? I mean, what
No,
is
they
this?
will
They're gonna
sell
sell
it,
it.
of
They're
course.
gonna
Who's
sell
huge
it.
amounts.
Easy,
And
they
we
can-
know
they
that
can
they are
get
going to sell it,
penalized for
and
that.
the person who's going to buy it is going to sell it and sell it, and then at the end is going to reach a hand of somebody that we know who's going to put it in his museum,
Yes.
saying he built the Egyptian civilization. We all know that
my
circle.
It's a vicious circle.
Of course, we all know that circle that somebody is going to take that statue and say, I built the pyramids, and we know them. They say it, we say no, they say yes, and it's forever. This
And then
discussion.
you would unfortunately believe the lie by time.
Though 90% of the people living elsewhere,
Yeah.
away from Egypt or
Unfortunately.
away from the Middle East, unfortunately,
But
believe in that.
Dr. Bassam, we have to mention here that it might be, to a certain extent, our own mistake that we
Yes.
are not providing enough advertisement, enough
Don't blame your
marketing
enemy.
for our own history.
Don't blame your
and
enemy. You
our
are
own
right. Don't blame
culture.
your enemy. Blame yourself. Blame yourself. And that's why I'm saying, if you want, now we are in need of some money for the Grand Egyptian Museum. So I'm saying that if the government can start something with that business of pay 2 Egyptian pounds. I know that the economical situation of this country is bad and everything,
But
and we all
2
appreciate
pounds
that, but 2
is
Egyptian
nothing.
pounds. And I'm saying everybody, you have to quit smoking, and a packet is 15 Egyptian pounds now.
And they do smoke.
So, and they still smoke. So we tell everybody to stop smoking. 2 Egyptian pounds, 95 million Egyptian people. 85 million in Egypt, almost 10 million abroad. If you want to pay more, fine. The minimum is 2 Egyptian pounds. So you are creating 95 times 2, so you are having a good sum of money to start with. Now, why are we doing this? Actually, for the money, yes, we need the Egyptians to build their own buildings. Number 2, to plant that seed of this building is mine. I have got something in this building. So the love to this building, because it's
Love and
always
loyalty.
loyalty, faithfulness to the building.
Yeah, but
Oh.
Doctor, I'm sorry to interrupt you here,
So-
but it just brings to my mind something, because you said Japan, for instance, had donated 350?
Something million.
Yeah, oh, a huge
I
number.
don't know if
no?
it's donation or it's
So,
by interest. So I'm not
what
sure
is
about
their
the
part
economic
in this? I
system.
mean, do they feel that they belong to this building as well? I mean, donating the people who are donating a lot of money, what do they have in guarantee for return? I mean,
That's what
I'm
I'm
sure
trying-
they don't throw their money.
No, of course not. I'm sure I don't know the secrets within those corridors of that agreement, but that is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to. There was an idea. I don't know why it died. If you want to buy a brick, a red brick, with your name carved on it, for the Grand Egyptian Museum, that I thought that was a cute idea.
And
You
I
can
believe
buy
many,
a
many
brick. Oh, yes.
institutions did do this.
And that
same
idea was
thing.
introduced. If it's your birthday and your husband wants to go, or your brother wants to get you a gift, it would be so cute to get you a brick with your name carved on it. You're not going to own it. He's going to donate the money for that brick, and then your name will be carved on a brick in the building of
Oh, that's so interesting.
the
My
Grand
birthday is
Museum.
in a couple of days. I want someone to do that for me.
Here you go. Ask your husband for a brick. Tell him to get you a red brick of the
See,
Grand
your
Museum.
brick, in the museum.
That would be so
Yes,
interesting.
yes,
If
yes.
you have got more money and you want to buy something bigger, why don't you donate a room? And your name will be placed in front of this room. This will be called Bassam's room. This will be called Yasmin's room. This will be called Ryan's room. So pay for the room, pay for the glass cases, pay for the security system, pay for the lights, and your name will be, in the building. A wall with all our signatures. Cute things like that, and the youth now are very active in Egypt. Oh, I meet youth. Yesterday in the Egyptian Museum, I met youth who were actually guiding inside the Egyptian museums for free.
But
And they're working.
how can we start doing our own propaganda and commercials, and how can we start spreading this idea and start collecting the money?
I don't know how old are you girls, but some time ago there was something in this country called For the Love of Egypt, في حب مصر. And it was a huge campaign and everybody wants to donate 1 Egyptian pound.
I wasn't living in
Kids-
Egypt, so that's not going to help by knowing my age. I wasn't living in Egypt anyway.
I'm gonna know your age. I deal with the pharaohs, so we know things. We know things. So if I can donate 1 Egyptian pound, and there was a match between Zamalek and Ahli, and the people went to this. We all went to the stadium, and we paid for the ticket, and the ticket went for حب مصر, to pay our debts. That was the point, to pay Egypt's debt. Well, what about if we do this here? We make football matches, huge football matches. I mean, providing the security system will be back. Concerts, operas, Opera Eid in front of the Sphinx, all sorts of things like that. And all this money is donated to the heritage and donated to the Grand Egyptian Museum. We have 1 year, let's say 2014, 1 year of the Grand Egyptian Museum. Logos on your screens. Go and see this. And then, if you pay the 2 Egyptian pounds, I'll tell you what are you going to gain. You are going to gain something as well, plus faithfulness and loyalty, as you mentioned.
Good deed.
You will be you will be given a card that when the museum opens, you will enter 10 times for free. That's what I'm
interesting.
introducing. So you are not going to cost those guys anything, but at the same time, you are going to have your card and you will have 10 visits to the museum. And by
Yes.
this, you were given something in return as well.
I'm glad, Doctor, you also mentioned about the new Grand Museum is not just going to be an ordinary traditional museum. It's also going to be a chance for lecturing halls and activities and so forth. Because we in the Arab region, particularly Egypt, are very interested with food courts and cinemas and
Malls.
play arts for the kids.
Popcorn.
That's not going to be interesting,
popcorn
right?
culture.
What kind of activities, briefly, is going to be included in the Grand Museum?
I'm introducing ideas like documentaries, like kids documentaries. We are in need to teach the children about their history by
Yes.
doing documentaries in this kind of age. Right? And third is lecturing, and lecturing from the universities and from outside universities.
Dr. Bassam Al-Shammaa, the lecturer of Egyptology. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Oh, it's a
online.
pleasure. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Doctor.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of our breakfast episode this morning. It was always a pleasure working with Mahisti. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yasmin, and have a very good day. And with this, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show. Hope you have enjoyed it and have a very pleasant day.